How to post content. Now, once you figure out where your audience hangs out, then the next step is to plan your content strategy and start posting content. Now, let's start by looking at some of the different types of content you may post. Tips. Now, typically, people on social media have short attention spans, which is why a short single tip will likely work better than posting a full-length article with multiple tips. However, this of course depends on your audience as well as the platform you're using. For example, for Twitter, you don't have enough room to post anything longer than a short tip. Now, take note that for maximum impact, post your tip as an eye-catching image. For example, if you are sharing a dog training tip, then create a graphic that includes your tip alongside a picture of the dog. Be sure to post your web link on the graphic itself, as some people will copy the image and post it on their account, rather than using the share button, which preserves any text or links you post alongside the image. Quotes. Now, the idea here is to post a powerful quote that's likely to resonate with your audience. You might post one of your own quotes, but keep in mind that this strategy may backfire if you're not an established expert in the niche, as people may see you as pretentious or arrogant rather than a thought leader. If you're not sure if you should post your own quotes yet, then use quotes from famous people. You can search for relevant quotes on sites like goodreads.com and brainyquotes.com. Just like the tips, you can post quotes on an attention-getting graphic. Now, be absolutely sure you list the person to whom the quote is attributed. You'll also want to check multiple credit sources to make sure you attribute the quote to the correct person. Now, if you attribute to the wrong person, you are likely to take a hit to your credibility. Next, videos. So you've probably noticed that videos are really popular across social media, not just on YouTube, but on other sites as well. That's why you definitely want to experiment with posting videos in your niche. Now, as I've mentioned, people tend to have short attention spans when they're browsing social media. And that means two things. Your video needs to capture and hold attention instantly. Now is not the time to go for content that slowly builds. Instead, your video should share attention-getting information and visuals right from the first frame. Second, your video should be short. If people see that your video is 10 or 20 minutes long, they are unlikely to watch it as they have plenty of other things in their social media feed that they want to see. That's why your video should be short, and it may be as short as 20 or 30 seconds, but definitely keep it under 3 minutes. Up next, audio clips. Now, this is a good type of content to post if the information benefits from having an audio. For example, if you are teaching dog owners how to recognize the characteristic goose honk cough of a dog with a collapsing trachea, then obviously you should post an audio clip. Now, take note that in this particular example, a video clip would be useful to show the dog's posture as they cough. Now, however, if all you have is an audio clip, then post that. You might even decide to create a video, such as by overlaying the audio over one or more photos of coughing dogs. Now, up next, how-to content. So you can post how-to content in either an article format or video format. And typically for social media, you'll probably get more interaction and shares if you post it in a video format. That's because you can demonstrate the process while you explain it. For example, you can demonstrate how to do a kettlebell swing as you explain. However, You can certainly post how-to articles as well. In many cases, you may find that it's better to take a full-length article and strip it down to its essential steps and tips. In other words, remove all the fluff and filler, as people who are scrolling through a busy feed don't have time to read long articles. Now, list articles. So people love lists, and lists are easy to post on social media, as even skimmers and busy people can glance at them to get the gist of what you are sharing. For example, you might post a list of the top places to submit guest author posts. Up next, memes. Now, if you have personal social media accounts, then you probably see memes popping up in your feeds every day of the week. Now, start paying attention to these memes and think about how you can capitalize on a popular meme to turn it into something relevant in your niche. Now, if you need a quick and easy way to create memes, you can visit the site's memegenerator.net. So up next, comics. If you are a creative, artistic sort of, or you have the cash to hire someone who can draw comics, then you might create and share relevant comics in your niche. To see an example of the type of comics we are talking about, you can check out Off the Leash for dog lovers. You can go to offtheleashdogcartoons.com. Also, infographics. Now, data-heavy or complex information can be hard to consume and understand in any venue. So you may create infographics to boil complex information down into its simplest form with data represented visually. If you want examples of the type of infographics people are creating and sharing in your niche, search Google for the word infographics alongside your niche keywords. For example, marketing infographics, charts and tables. Now, while not as extensive as an infographic, a chart or table can be a quick way to make an impact. For example, you might use a pie chart to represent what diseases are most likely to be fatal to a particular breed of dog. And this chart will definitely get your prospects' attention. So you can then point them to a page that shows them how to reduce the likelihood that their dog will acquire the disease. Now, photos. A photo is a great option for sites like Pinterest and Instagram, though they are also really popular on other sites too, such as Facebook and Twitter. But let's suppose you work in a cooking or baking niche. And you might post a picture of a delicious meal and then link to the recipe on your site. Illustrations. And this works the same as photos, except they are drawings. So for example, you might share an illustration or blueprint of how to build a chicken coop. Now here are the keys to planning your content strategy. Check what your competitors are doing to figure out what your audience is most likely to respond to. Produce a variety of content, as this will give you an insight into what your audience responds to the best. And share content on a regular basis, such as daily or even multiple times per day, depending on your goals and niche. And automate or schedule your content. You can use built-in tools that schedule content on Facebook or use a tool like Hootsuite.com.